the eve of Diwali, which we'll celebrate a few days later, just after we've completed Navratri and Dasara. And in the midst of all these festivities, to have such a lovely gathering of brothers and sisters who love India, who are our brand ambassadors of this beautiful relationship that Japan and India share, is truly an honor for me. Thank you very much to all of you who have joined us this evening. Friends, I'd like to place on record my appreciation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, of the India Club, the Indian Social Society, and the Nippon India Cultural and Economic Center for participating in this program today. Konnichiwa. It's the Japanese way to say hello. I just heard you say that. Namaste. We share so much in common between Japan and India. I think Hinduism and Buddhism both have so many similarities, so much to offer to the world. Love, affection, simplicity, service. I'm told seva is used both in Japanese and in Hindi as for service or for help. There's so much commonality between Japan and India. Our traditions, whether it is Mahakal in India or Daikokuten in Japan or Japanese, whether it's Brahma in Hindi or Bonten in Japanese, whether it's Saraswati or Benzaiten or the good Lord Ganesha to Kangiten. There's so much that Japan and India share apart from our rich cultural heritage, history, years and years of tradition, strong value systems. We celebrate nature, we pray to the gods, and I believe just like in India, Japanese also have 8 billion gods. And they pray to the sun, to earth, to the wind, nature. That brings us so much closer to each other, brings us as one family. You have Zen in Japan, we have meditation as a medium of solace. Sadness, all the suffering, all that happened maybe 80 years ago, 78 years ago. It was a wake-up call for humanity, it was a wake-up call, something which we hope the world will never ever witness again. And I think the fire that is burning there, and as was explained to me, it will continue to burn relentlessly, reminding the people of the world that we have to put an end to all war, we have to put an end to all suffering, and it will continue to burn till the world is rid of all nuclear weapons. I think that's a very, very strong statement and commitment of the people of Japan, of the feelings that every Japanese has against war, which resonates so much with what Ambassador reminded us when the Prime Minister said this is not an era of war. We all have to work with dialogue, with diplomacy, and find solutions to the problems of the world. And as I speak before you today, the world has now not one but 2 conflicts. We have barely gotten out of COVID. I'm told Japan announced it only earlier this year. And in the midst of all the uncertainty, in the midst of all the problems against humanity that we can see, I think Japan and India are an oasis of peace. We both strongly believe that the future of the world is tied in friendship, is tied when we all work as one. And I think the words that were quoted by Ambassador George about how Prime Minister Modi and the late Venerable Prime Minister Abe-san not only escalated this relationship to a very, very high strategic level, but if I may add, moved from a government to business, but also people to people partnership that we share with all of you as the torch bearers of this wonderful relationship. Friends, I'm told we have 40,000 Indians working in Japan. You are all our brand ambassadors. You are all reflecting the India story. You are all bringing to Japan your knowledge, your skills, your commitment to serve, your commitment to be good citizens or residents of Japan, your commitment to showcase India in good light, your commitment to keep the fire has prepared India to achieve as we work our way through the Amrit Kaal, the 25 years from 2022 to 2047, our journey from 75 years of independence to 100 years of independence. In this journey, where we are all stakeholders, where we are all participants, where we will all put in our best foot forward, we want to see the Indian economy grow to a $35 trillion economy when we celebrate 100 years of independence, which is a 10x growth. And I say this with conviction, I say this with confidence, because over the last decade, we have prepared India, we have prepared every Indian to truly become a contributor in this journey. Some of you may remember that 10 years ago, India was recognized rather in a very bad light as a fragile 5 economy. We were amongst the 5 weak economies of the world. The world had given up on India. The world felt India has been. There were many Indians who were despondent also. There were many Indians who could not see light at the end of the tunnel, given a situation where neither the economy was doing well, growth was faltering, there was high inflation. Some of us may remember a double-digit inflation was considered a normal level of inflation in India. Interest rates were high. We would struggle with foreign currency reserves or with the foreign currency situation being weak. And there were concerns across the world about the future of India. There were corruption scandals coming tumbling out of the cupboard every few weeks. Even an area like sports was not left untouched. And we had the ignominy of the shameful display where almost in every area the country, instead of being recognized for its rich possibilities, had sadly got into a situation where we were looked down upon. I remember at that point of time, when any of us used to travel internationally also, and we showed our Indian passport, we had to spend more time at the immigration officer's desk than any other nation, with all sorts of questions being asked and each one of us being looked upon as a threat, as a potential immigrant to their country, unwelcome, whether as tourists or as business persons. Friends, the last 10 years journey has been a journey with a three-pronged attack. Attack as in not a physical or a violent attack, but an attack on each of these problems that was plaguing your country. On the one hand, we worked to strengthen the fundamentals of the nation, economic situation. Relentlessly, we worked to make India corruption-free. We worked day and night to use technology to go to the root of each problem and solve the problems of the nation. We worked towards bringing down inflation, towards bringing down interest rates, towards doubling our foreign currency reserves from nearly $300 billion to $600 billion today. We worked towards strengthening the Indian economic growth story to become the world's fastest growing large economy. Over the last 9-year period, including the last 1.5 year post the Ukraine conflict, where inflation has been universally high, India continues to be an oasis with an average inflation of the last 9 years hovering around only 4.5% compared to the past when double-digit 10, 12, 11% used to be a norm. Interest rates have significantly come down.